SENIAC and welcome back to another episode of Build Your Factory here in Roblox, where recently there was a brand new huge update which added in a bunch of vehicle assemblies, I think they're called, which means we can now create our very own vehicles on our production lines. Now, if I go to the store, if you haven't seen it already, there is a bunch of new stuff you can now buy. And one of the things I'm most excited about is the vehicle maker 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, the most expensive one is 2 million. The cheapest one is 250,000 right now. And if we go and view it, because I've got the expensive $2 million assembly 4 here, this can produce cars, vans, and trucks. Now, obviously, the car's the cheapest one, the truck's the most expensive, and if we can produce a truck, it would be a lot of cash money moolah. But what we're going to do is we're going to first focus on trying to build cars. Now, to build a car, if I can, it's going to be worth 28,000 big ones. I require to get some wheels, some vehicle bodies, a V6 engine, some wiring, and some glass. That's a lot of stuff that I've got to build and create to produce my first vehicle. But guess what, boys? I have kind of started to make that progress already. Now, not all of this is to do with vehicles. This here is to produce server racks. This here is to produce bicycles. But once we start producing vehicles, I think we can then start getting rid of all this stuff and then slowly transform it into producing trucks. Maybe. But basically, we're first going to discover what we now need to produce. So, to produce a car, which I'm going to select, we need wheels. Now, I've already got over here a system that's now producing wheels. In a constructor 1, we need to produce wheels L, the large ones, which require steel ingots and rubber. I've got rubber, I've got steel coming in. We are producing wheels, baby. Very, very easy. Now, that's just the first product of these cars that we require. So are you ready to see the rest of it? Guys, before we get into it right now, smash that like button if you want to see more Build Your Factory on the channel. You want to see me do more episodes? Subscribe so you get notified when they do come out. Leave a like on the video too, guys. Really do appreciate it. And also comment what you think I should be building next. Now, the other thing that we then require to build vehicles is then going to go ahead and be a vehicle body, which I have all the way over here. A vehicle body requires us to have steel ingots and aluminium, which we've got steel here, and we've got aluminium all the way over here, which is producing the bodies. We just got to obviously, like the wheels, got to eventually connect it all up. Now, the next thing we require is V6 engines, which are a little bit more kind of complex. Now, V6 engines we've got coming out of here, which we don't have set up just yet. We need pistons, V6 engine blocks, and wiring. Now, we've got the wiring system all here lined up, which is great. Over here, we have the V6 engine blocks, which we've got to connect up all the conveyors. I know it's quite long-winded, but I've had to build it around my current setup, so it's not the most efficient. But there's the engine blocks, and then here is the pistons. Now, they're going to run on all these conveyors to eventually go into this, because 3 items need to go in to make 1. V6 engine, completed it, mate. Right, next, we need normal wiring, which I do not yet have, and I do not yet have any normal glass. Now, I could take it from all this stuff, but I want to keep it all separate and have its own runs. Now, this means, right, that this is going to require us to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items going in at once. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But I've kind of got this set up to hopefully produce 4 vehicles at once, if it all goes to plan. Now, let's focus and first finalize the V6 engines. And what we need to do for this is we need to go to our transportation. We're going to ramp up right now, and we need to get these final conveyors into their systems. So basically, how I've got it set up, and I might need to actually delete back a little bit. The first 4 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, are to do with the engine blocks. So we'll make each one of those go into the first one of each one. So by that logic, we're going to be ramping up, right, each one of these. And this is where it is probably going to get a little bit difficult to squeeze it all in. But don't worry, we'll figure it out. So this will go into that one. This will go into that one. And then this would go into that one. So that would go there. That would go there, there. And let me now just quickly do the turn bridge thing here. Bam, bam, bam. That's going all in. Obviously, apart from the bottom one, which goes in there, conveyor, and bam. Now, we need to bring the pistons from over there on the other 4 into each one of these, which is going to be a little bit more difficult, but not impossible. Not impossible. What I think we need to do is get rid of you and you. And if I now bring this to there, bring this to there, and then that one should be okay. Do the ramp. So each one of these needs to be a ramp. And then you need to be a ramp. And I've just then got to connect them all up. But that one, oh, actually, this one here doesn't need to be a ramp. Hilariously, it doesn't. So if I now just finalize all of this, okay, I think the rest of it can stay as it is. Let me do the turn for this one. This will all make sense and unravel itself in just a second. So that turn goes there. I just realized I didn't ramp up on that. That turn would go... I'll have to put it there because I can't do it over that. And I have to do that one over here. So bridges, that runs to there, which that's in the wrong place. You go to there. You run that way. You would run to there. You would run to there. And I think we are going to be okay. Last one there. Turn, turn. Turn, 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 turn. Delete this. I think I've got it, boys. I think I've actually now got it. And then I'm just going to make sure that we finalize on the other side. So I just got to do my turn stuff now. It's not perfect, but it will do. So that should lead in right now. As complicated as it kind of looks, and a little bit all over the place as it looks, that should now be able to run it, providing, right, that I get the conveyors now all in. So you go that way, you go that way. You go that way, you go that way, you're that way, that way, that way, that way. And hoping that I've done it all correct, these should now all run into the correct sections. We'll soon find out. We'll soon find out if they're going correctly into it. So that, in theory, should now start producing the V6 engine. So we're just now missing 2 additional items. And that is normal wiring and then glass. Now, luckily for us, we do have a setup over here for wiring. I wouldn't say it's the most efficient, but if I can kind of clone this. So if I clone this right now, this whole setup there, I might be able to not only save some time, but get away with it. So put you like there. I'm going to put it there. I'm going to end up deleting all of this. This gives me a bit of space to run conveyors down from this way and then filter it all into... I don't know how I'm going to do it, but it's going to be hilarious, right? That's all set up, and that should now start producing wires. And now, what am I missing again? Sorry, the last thing I now require is... Was it glass? Yes. Now, I think I have a glass set up somewhere, but I don't remember where I have it set up. It is just okay. So it's just sand. So it's sand into a smelter. Right. So I need a miner into a smelter setup. That's what I need right now. And I think I've got a miner into a smelter. I'm going to clone this again to save your boy a little bit of time. So if I put this then here, right, and then just quickly tell each one what they now need to do. So you've got to be sand. And you, hold on, I've got to be glass. Right, theoretically, technically, right, I'm now producing one of every product required, right, to produce a car. So let me now just delete all of this. Delete all of this. And then delete you. I've now got to figure out, and I don't know how I'm going to do this, how I'm now going to bring everything down here. I've got this set up to where I should technically be able to produce 4 cars at once. Now, let me just double check that this is all correct, by the way. This is all running in. Pistons going that way. Yes. Engine blocks going in. Yes. Wiring going in. That's all set up nicely. This is going to be painful. Now, I'm trying to do it where it's all completely separate as well, which is probably the wrong thing to go about doing it. Merging it would give us a better chance, but I don't want to merge, okay? I want it to all be completely separate. So we're going to have to try and keep everything all now together. So if I add engines running down to there, so that's where my 4 engines are going to run. I've got to now somehow bring over the chassis, so they will eventually run 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to have to also bring in the wheels, which are going to have to run 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got the glass here, which, is there any point me bringing it up? If I can turn that, 1, 2, 3, 4. Not really. I might as well just keep them there as it is. Yeah, we'll keep them there as it is. Unless I just move it back a little bit. Right, move them back to there. And then that would go here. Although it is all a little bit too close, might I add. So let me not do that, because it is technically a little bit too close. Let's slow down a little bit. Okay, let's slow down a little bit. So production-wise, vehicle maker, which is 2 million, I need to get 4 of these. Now, I think we'll start with just doing, because I've only got enough money for 2 at the minute, okay? I've only got enough money for 2. And let's start with actually having these spaced out quite a bit. So 1 there. We'll do 1 there. And I'll do 1 there. And I can see myself moving this slightly back a little bit. So build mode, transportation, this is where it's going to now completely stress us out. So I'm going to have the 1 glass being taken this way, like that. So if I delete them, oh, hang on, let me get rid of the grouping. There we go. 1 glass going that way. We'll then have another glass going this way. We'll then have another glass. So we'll run all the glass first on the ground. And then we'll play around with everything else after. So the glass is going to go that way. And then run in. So if I now set up some turn conveyors, I can then slowly start to see where the glass is heading. And get an idea for it. Now, in reality, it might be a good idea to also have set up the other one. The 4th one, but I do not have enough cash just yet. So I'm like I said, I'm going to have to turn all this. So let me now also get this up and running. So the turn would go there. The turn would go there. You would go there. So it just gives me an idea of how much space I've actually got to utilize. So now then, we'll do the chassis next. So the chassis will run into this, which almost runs perfectly that way if I can move it over by 1. So that would run to there, where it would have to then go up. Oh, no, delete. Right, build. And I'm going to bring you up so far, and then we're going to choose to turn and elevate. Yeah, so that would go... We'll have 1 there, there, and there. There. That would be deleted. So let's get our bridges now. So I'm only going to do it here until I need to do it otherwise. Okay? So that all goes to there. That's going to lead up to here. And then delete you. And then I've got to then ramp you over. And oh, no. No. Right, we'll keep it. Oh. See, ideally, we would want to probably keep it all elevated as soon as I can. Because it will allow me to have the ground space available to navigate around. So if I elevate these instantly, right, and then if we get the turns, so that will be turned that way to then be turned that way. That will be turned that way to then be turned that way. So then the bridges would run all the way down that way, all the way that way. So I should have then the freedom to run these all the way down. And of course, we've got one left available for when I do my fourth one, wherever it may go. Wherever it may go. So I've got to get these 4 up here now connected going down. So build mode and do the ramps again. So we'll look to ramp in here, 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 and here, which should put us... To be honest with you, I could keep it all elevated. Right, we keep it all elevated, which means the turns. So we'll do... Let me just get this correct. So you're coming down there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. I get this is... Oh, I've done the wrong ones. It's so long-winded, but visually, it's going to look quite impressive. Okay? It's going to look quite impressive. Right, bridges. Very good. And then you're coming down. Like that. You're going across. Like that. And that will then lead into each individual machines. This is slightly wild. Right, run this now. Going all the way up. So we turn there. Bring you down. Bring you there. And then obviously that will turn there. So bam, bam, bam. So delete that one. So we just need to turn conveyors now. And that then is the chassis. So now we've got 3 more items we need to now implement. Damn! Right, I've decided I'm only going to get the first one set up because it's taking longer than I expected. It's also more complicated than I expected. So we're going to focus on the furthest one away. So I've changed up some of the layouts right now because I need more space to kind of navigate other stuff through, which is what the issue is. Now, obviously, I could have ran everything in one line, but this is me trying to get 4 set up to be super efficient and to produce more. It's probably the wrong thing to do, but we'll see. We'll see. So I'm just going to get the other stuff now running into it. So if I just get my conveyors here to run across, let me just finalize the elevated stuff there, 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 and there. And then that needs to run all the way that way. And now grab you in. And I've just got to now run a line coming all the way down for the wheels, which is a bit wild. Just so I can get that going all the way in. What are we now missing? We're missing a little bit just down here. And I think technically we've got everything now going to this to produce a car. Now, I haven't selected it, so I'll wait for all the goods to back up. I am now pushing everything into that system. Okay? We're doing it. It's working. Glorious. So now let me see if I can get all the other stuff linked up. It's become very complex, all because I'm having to build around this system. But we should see vehicles being produced very soon. Now, does this look like it's getting slightly out of hand? It actually does. But I've got 3 car makers, sorry, which now have all the conveyors linked to them, which technically can now produce all of the goods. Now, you can see where we're kind of slightly running out and where we need more stuff to come in, which I have slightly upgraded some of the machines. And then we do have one there, one there, one there, one there, and one over here. So those 5 items there that are going to be going to the 4th plant once I've got it all set up. So all I've got to do now is run a conveyor for each one down to here. and then we are producing vehicles. Now, I also have the package thing over here set up so we can also, make it even more valuable. So the last thing I've now officially got to do to be able to produce these vehicles is, and I'm going to do it a little bit long-winded, right? Okay, let me just humor me for a second, okay, boys? Humor me for a second. Because this is taking a long time to do. I want to enjoy this and see all actually come into play. So merger, there we go. Build the conveyor system now. So run that all the way down. Run you in all the way here. So it kind of goes back to then come all the way down just so I can have a better glimpse of what is actually going on. So the conveyors are now done. All I've got to do is tell these 3 vehicle makers that they now need to produce cars. And each one, if it was to produce a car, it takes 15 seconds. So you produce a car, you produce a car, you produce a car. Right, they're now producing cars. So in 15 seconds, we should then start seeing vehicles. Look at my factory. It's a little bit over the top right now. It really is. But are we ready to see it? Oh, there's our first vehicle. There is our first vehicle, boys. We have an actual car. Oh my goodness me. And there's more coming through as well. So here's the next one. Here's the next one, boys. Beautiful. Oh, I'm missing a conveyor. I just realized I'm actually missing a conveyor right now, which is why this one's not producing. There we go. So we now know that these 2 are producing. That should now technically now start producing. And then over time, we should then start seeing which machines are losing the most amount of cash. So it goes for the packager anyway, which then makes it worth... I didn't actually see what that was. Hold on. Hold on, boys. Wait for it. 47 for the server rack, 39 for the cars. Now, we could quite easily eventually switch this over from car to van, which the van technically, right, uses the same items. So I could make it worth a few more pennies just by utilizing and switching it to a van. Simple, right? But to make maximum money, you need to switch it over to a truck, which all you've got to change is from producing V6 engines to V8 engines. That's all you've then got to change it to. Beastie! The only difference with when you switch it to a van, yeah, it uses the same parts, but it uses more of the parts, which I don't mind too much. Now, I've got 1.2 million in cash, and that will just keep slowly climbing. Now, obviously, I can make these a little bit better, but they cost 4 million to do, so we'll hold out a little bit on that. Once I got enough cash, I can build the 4th setup, which we have to kind of lead everything over here. And then we are rocking and rolling. Now, granted, there's much more efficient ways to do this. I'm very, very well aware of that. But at the same time, boys, let's go right now. I'm producing cars. Next, it's time to produce trucks. If you enjoyed this, please smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you are new. And until next time, I will see you all soon. So, goodbye.